I swear you'll never see anything like this ever again. Aguero!
Attention passengers.
Welcome aboard Footy Fetish Airlines flight 42069. This is your captain speaking. And we'll have our co-pilot Ocho, who will be co-piloting with us today in today's episode. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be traveling at an altitude of 30,000 feet. Please have your seats in the upright position with your seat belts fastened and your balls at your feet at all times. Our final destination today is Champions League. Champions! Co-piloting this endeavor with me today, future head coach of USA Soccer and platinum member of Footy Fetish Airlines Rewards. Ladies and gentlemen, who that said they're going to beat Ocho? Where you at?
Ladies and gentlemen, this is your captain speaking. We will be touching down in Champions League in approximately 1 hour. Please keep your seatbelts fastened until the indicator is turned off. Captain Mike, who are our guests on this flight today?
Flying first class with us today in one of those beautiful little seats that actually folds all the way back and you can lay down. It's like a bed. So jealous. Ladies and gentlemen, Gunner Mike, what's up, brah?
Fellas, what's happening? Appreciate y'all having me back. Let's get to it. Happy to be on board.
Glad to have you. How's your time in first class doing? Are they is the stewardess giving you everything you need?
Everything I need. You know, a little bit of this, a little bit of that. You know, we on this Ciroc VS right now. You
Nice.
know, we getting
High
to it
class.
on a Sunday. Having a
Heard
good
that.
time. So, you know, let's get it.
You let our stewardesses know if we can get you anything. You know, balls, feet, packet of nuts. You just let them know. They'll be right on it.
I need them Biscoff. I need the Biscoff cookies, man.
Packing more nuts than Delta Airlines, ladies and gentlemen, here on the Footy Fetish Fight. Stole that from Ludacris. Anyway, ladies and gentlemen, we got another guest.
Across the aisle.
Yes. Who we got,
Across the
Ocho?
aisle. We've got another guest in first class, all the way from Ivory Coast. Welcome back to the show, Fabrice Twally. How are you, buddy?
Go good. What's up, fellas? Happy to be back.
Glad to have you back, especially after this recent Champions League result that we saw. Very excited to get your opinions on those.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen, now that we have all of our guests introduced, we are going to be talking about Round of 16 Champions League Week 1. Let's get right into it. PSG, Barcelona. PSG with a rout win, 4-1. Fabrice, we're passing it over to you. Give us your thoughts.
Yeah, the game was exciting to watch. Definitely a stressful one coming in as a PSG fan. I think remembering the last time the team went to Barcelona and like the end result, the remontada, you know, was a little worried going in. But I think the guys came in pretty serious. They gave it all in terms of energy. You know, they dominated the midfield is something we talked about, and ended up being a pretty huge win.
What are your thoughts on Pochettino as a coach so far?
I think he's found a system that works for the players he has that like brings the best potential out of like a lot of players. People like Paredes in the midfield that maybe might have been like had a spotty performance or two from time to time. You know, now they're more regular. He's dropped in some key passes in this game. He's been present on defense, you know, getting the ball back and feeding the players forward. Players like Mbappe just scoring more consistently, you know. I think the system style of play is a lot faster, and it's going in the right direction.
Love it. Yeah, I would agree that you can definitely see they're starting to believe in Pochettino as a coach. Really quickly, let's just go over. Mbappe had a hat trick. Moise Kean had another goal, and Messi had a PK. The possession was 52-48, and PSG led with 16 shots to 12. Really quick takeaway for me, the midfield for me at PSG was the big mismatch Verratti looked fantastic. He is back to his best form. Like you said, Twali, to piggyback on that, Paredes looks very, very good, and he's consistent. The whole game, he was very consistent. Also, Ghana Gay was just a total tornado, like a Tasmanian devil for that Barcelona midfield. He was making tackles. He was disrupting the play. Fortunately, he did not get that red card. That early yellow really kind of hampered his game, but luckily the ref didn't see it to give him that second yellow, which was right around the end of the first half. Other than that, great performance from PSG. And like Booty and I had talked about in the previous episode, that right side of the back line was suspect. We told everyone that it was going to be a different center back and right back. Well, they decided to force in PK and they decided to force in Dest, and that was very apparent watching Mbappe run up and down the sideline, as well as Verratti, as well as Kurzawa. They had their way with that left side, and poor Frankie De Jong was left all by himself. You didn't really see much defensive action from Dembele. Dembele is not a defensive-minded player, so you got Serginho Dest, very young, inexperienced Champions League player. Frankie De Jong, who's got way too much on his plate, and then you got Dembele, who this was another mismatch in favor of PSG. So well done to PSG. 4 away goals in Camp Nou. Also a hat trick for Mbappe in the Camp Nou. Don't know when we're ever going to see that again from one player. So very historic performance and great result for PSG.
Yeah, that was I'd say that's probably one of his breakout performances in terms of games. He's obviously had some good ones before with Monaco in the World Cup and all that, but that was a hat trick away, and especially going against a team like Barcelona where Messi is the direct comparison in terms of the world stage. He stepped up. It seemed like every time he was touching the ball, he was ready to score. And what you were saying about the midfield and the defense, thinking back, the last time they played, it was somebody like Sergio Roberto playing right back. It wasn't somebody that was a 20-year-old, basically a rookie that's coming from Holland and jumping straight into Barcelona's starting lineup. So he'll learn from it, but it's a tough lesson.
Definitely. Booty and Gunner Mike, what are y'all's thoughts? We'll go Gunner Mike. What are your thoughts?
Just kind of piggyback on what y'all were saying before. Just kind of great game from PSG. Mbappe, not enough words can really talk about his display. Historic performance, like you said. Kind of touch on what you said before. Also, it seems like Pochettino has kind of unlocked Paredes, which has been really, really dope to see. He seems like he's always had the talent, but just not the consistent performances. So that's been really good. But all this ultimately just plays back into Barcelona's biggest problem. They're old as hell. They gotta revamp that whole damn team, and until they do that, it's gonna be these type of performances and these type of results on the biggest stages. That's just what it's gonna be. Poor Frankie De Jong. He's a great player, and like you just said, Hugh, he's got so much on his plate, but he's an excellent, excellent player. But he's having to carry that whole damn midfield with Busquets, who's like my dad's age, and come on, man, this is crazy. So that's really it. But yeah, I tweeted earlier in the week, Mbappe killed the tie in 86 minutes. You know what I mean? And that's it. That's it.
Yeah, he did, man.
The shit's a wrap,
It's
man.
a wrap.
So,
It's a wrap.
we'll see what happens next for PSG.
Well said. Mike Daddy, Booty, thoughts on the game?
Man, the only man who is allowed to be as old as your dad and get away with it is Buffon. So, if we're not talking about Buffon, we got a problem. But hey, a couple of things to take away that I noticed on this game is number one, Verratti. What a great game by him. I know our footy soldiers are sick of Ocho and I mentioning this man because we just keep waiting for it to happen, and the man just keeps getting unlucky with injuries. But Ocho and I, being really big Italy fans, we've seen this man and what he can do on the national squad. So it's really cool to see it finally translate over in a big game over in Champions League for PSG. So in my opinion, PSG just got even more dangerous if this man is healthy. So that's really scary. And it was easy to be overlooked because he's a guy that he facilitates, he creates, and with Mbappe doing what he did, I mean, nobody's going to pay attention, right? I mean, that's human nature. I understand that one, but man, secondly, to see Mbappe just donkey fuck our boy all day, Dest, that kind of hurt. But it's it is what it is. Dest got himself a little French lesson. Maybe he'll learn from it, and we're hoping so. But man, the other thing we got to say is, hey, we got to toot our own horn here. I know Ocho was talking about a big game from Mbappe and Icardi, and I was feeling Moise Kean. Moise Kean's a guy, again, he's going to get overlooked because of what Mbappe is doing, but this man, he gets sold to Everton from Juve, and he was great with Juve, youngster, and then he goes to Everton, and the guy who buys him is fired. So he's immediately put on the back burner at Everton. Getting loaned out now to PSG, we're seeing finally what he can do, what we all know that he can do. And as Twali had mentioned, we spoke about this beforehand. Now Everton has that upper hand. They're asking for $80 million for him on this loan, and good for them. They should. I believe the man now has 10 goals with him, and this is just since this summer that he transferred over. So it's what was that, Hugh?
14.
14.
Paulie told us 14.
Yeah. 14 goals, man. This is a guy, and you go back and look at the goal he scores on. This is a beautiful set piece. To me, those are the hardest goals to score. Those are the prettiest ones. Those are the hardest ones because you got to be in the right place, right time, and everything has to go your way. And he's a guy that he already knows where he needs to be. That's really dangerous. That being said, on the flip side, Barcelona, man, it's tough, man. You see Griezmann come in, you see De Jong come in, like Gunnar Mike just mentioned. These guys, De Jong, he's an up and coming guy from Ajax. Ajax is a system. When you see a guy that's doing so well with them, they're gonna do well anywhere that they go, and it's not really happening right now because they're asking so much of them. So that hurts. Griezmann, I think we could chalk this up as a bad decision. He should stay where he was at. Maybe even went somewhere else. I don't know, but
yeah.
If he doesn't somehow score these 3 goals that they're down, then man, it's time to probably move on already. And it's really weird to say. It's just not really working out. He's not even really playing a position to me that he played at Atletico. Atletico, as we remember, is the 4-4-2, and he paired with Costa up top. Right. With this, it's more like the Messi show, and he's just kind of taking that back seat. But the best way I can describe his run so far at Barca is, man, he almost had that. It's been way too often that happens, and for the amount of money he's getting, that's not doing it for me, homie. You gotta go. He's gonna take that pay cut somewhere else in my crystal ball. You got to. It's a bad vibe right now. It's a bad vibe. And then my question I'm gonna throw to you guys. Speaking of Barca, y'all think Barca's the worst team right now in the round of 16?
Yes.
Yeah, I think it might just be.
Yeah,
we still haven't seen 4 games, but I'm gonna go ahead and just say yes right now.
It's just it's too all over the place, and we've seen what he can do. Coach can do. Koeman, we've seen what he can do with Netherlands, but this isn't the Netherlands now. This is definitely a different situation. Switching from Netherlands to a club,
higher expectations.
Absolutely.
Barcelona,
well said. Well said. I mean, he's getting. Go ahead, man.
Koeman just admitted that he thinks this tie is already too far for them to like. And as a coach, you don't say that before the second leg even comes around. You don't. Yeah.
Right.
Let's not forget, he said before the game that Barcelona is the best team in the knockout rounds. He's now followed that up with, "It's too far gone. We're out." What kind of coach are you, bro? You're fucking
fast, man.
What a fraud! Shit.
Yeah, I'm gonna take Pochettino all day, every day, any week, any time. Much better coach, and we're seeing that, and we're gonna see it again. And I don't see a Barcelona comeback. This isn't the same Barcelona 6-1 comeback team at all. Not even close.
One thing I need to add here is PSG are missing not one key player. They're missing 2 key players, Neymar and Di Maria. So, my question to y'all, we're just going to focus on Neymar right now. Neymar will be back. That's at least the reports, is Neymar will be back for the second leg. First question, do you put Neymar in the starting 11? If so, who are you taking out? We're going to pass it around the room. We'll go with the PSG man first. Twally, who do you take out, or do you
I'd,
take someone?
yeah, I'd say in this lineup, if it's just Neymar coming back in, you take out one of the guys in the midfield, you drop back to Verratti and Paredes in the two, and then you have Neymar in the center attacking mid spot. That's what Pochettino's been playing, and I think that's what makes the most sense with Keane, Icardi, and Mbappe being on different levels of like streaks right now. They're all scoring one way or another. Some are ugly, or they're assisting. So like you keep those guys in. I think Gay, like he breaks up the play, but out of the midfield, he's the least technical. So yeah, that's what you do. But obviously you don't rush him if you don't have to.
Agreed. All right, Gunner Mike, what you
Uh,
doing with Neymar?
I'm getting Neymar in the side for sure, but I'm getting Icardi out of there. I'm kicking him out the club.
So are you shifting Keane to the 9 and putting Neymar on a wing?
I'm kind of yeah. Yeah, I'm shifting him to the wing, but obviously I'm letting him do his thing. You know, he's floating in
Just
the middle.
float.
He's floating to
Just
the other
float.
side. He just
Just
out
float.
here. He just out here. You know, but technically, yeah, I'm floating him out to the wing, and
All right.
I'm putting Mosey Kane in the middle. I just like his form a little bit more and what he brings to the side opposed to Cardi. So, yeah, that's how we rock.
Fair points. Fair points. Booty, what you doing with Neymar?
Neymar coming off the injury, man, I'm gonna keep it exactly how this is because you're already up 4-1. You have the away goal advantage. I'm not saying coast, okay? We're not gonna coast because obviously this lineup is far from coasting. But I say you don't ruin a good thing. Don't fix it if it ain't broke. If for some
Ooh.
reason, if for some reason that it starts to get a little sketchy and you got to put Neymar in, bring him off the bench, and I got to take Icardi out because he just hasn't done enough for me lately. We know he's capable. We know he can do it, but I say give him the first half and see. If Icardi scores a couple goals, hey, you don't have to use Neymar at all. Rest him up. Wait around till the next round. But I can't take out Keane. You obviously can't take out Mbappe, obviously, but Icardi, I need to see a little bit more from him lately. We know it's there, but I just haven't seen enough lately. So that being said, I think you somehow squeeze in Neymar where Icardi's at right now. Go crazy. Leave Keane where he's at. I wouldn't want to mess with that either. Leave those two on the wings. It's working obviously, but I say, hey, if Neymar's really is hurt, not throwing any puns at him or anything, but if he is, there's no reason to rush him back if this is already working.
So interesting. You're saying sub him in the second half of the second leg.
Yes, if shit is going bad, if for some reason maybe let's say Barcelona goes up 2 goals quick or something, then yeah, I think you got to work him in. But
Gotcha.
let's say, I mean, Barca the way they looking lately, I don't see that happening. So if we're second half and we're still looking good, there's still 3-4 goals up. I'd stick with how it is and then go from there. Maybe you don't need to bring on Neymar at all. You rest him.
I would be actually. I'm inclined to agree. Controversially, I would take out Keane and I'd leave Icardi just because I feel like Icardi's a better 9. Even though he didn't do anything in this game and Keane scored, I feel like in the game, Icardi, just like Paredes, I feel like Icardi is playing at another level because he's got an Argentinian coach.
Yeah.
There was a lot of really good things that I saw Icardi do as a 9 that is not going to be on the score sheet. But as a striker, it's like, that's what I want you to do as a striker. So, I mean, this is up to Pochettino. I'm willing to bet Pochettino keeps his Argentinian players in over the Italian players. And we'll probably see an Mbappe on the right wing, Neymar on the left wing with Icardi in the middle. But, that's just me speculating. I have no idea. I was just curious to see what y'all's thoughts were because we didn't see Neymar this game. And that's a huge player to be messing against a team like, that's a huge player. He's going to make an instant impact on this game, no matter what the score is or whatever the consequences are. He's going to come in.
I got to give you credit, Hugh, and it's enough credit to buy a house. So you've been approved on my credit. I mean, you said this last episode that it seems like the ball movement is quicker when Neymar's not in. So again, I mean, we saw that it happened. So again, I wouldn't mess with what's going on right now and just let Neymar get his rest.
Yeah, man, I agree. The ball looked a lot. The attack was much faster. Just to kind of like piggyback what you said, we kind of said that, with Neymar demands the ball and he demands touches, and he's one of the few players that when you give him the ball, he can create on his own without any help. But man, when you can have multiple people using the ball and shifting the defensive positions, then it really makes it difficult to defend.
Yep.
Question for you guys.
Yes.
So we're recording this on Sunday, and PSG has just played their league game, and they've played against a formation in a 3-5-2 that slowed them down. Do you guys think Barcelona switches their setup, or they go back with this formation and try and attack and get goals out of the return leg?
They got to go for it.
Yeah.
They got no choice. They got to go all out. I mean, out the gate. They got to play like Atalanta, you know what I mean? Type shit. Barca's got to go for it.
Yeah,
I don't think there's any shot for them.
Yeah.
I don't think, because here's the thing. You've got to risk it right now as Barcelona. You've got to risk attacking going forward, which means you're going to be open for a counterattack. And of all the teams that could be countering, you're going to let Mbappe and potentially Neymar counter on you. It's done.
Yikes.
This is done.
Tough.
It's done. You can't be conservative and score 3. You need to lead by 4. You need to win by 4 goals. I don't think it's possible for you to try and score 4 goals, yet be conservative enough to defend Mbappe and Neymar. It's just it doesn't make sense on paper. I don't see it happening in real life.
The math don't work.
That's Schoolhouse Rock shit right there with the math, man. Sitting on Capitol Hill with my bill, and I'll tell you what, if Coleman comes out, I'll tell you what, to answer your question, Twally, the formation needs to stay the same because that's all they fucking know. But if he comes out with this same lineup and same formation, that man needs to be fired on the spot, because how could you come up with this result and you just roll out? It's like, fuck it, we'll roll out same shit, and somehow we're gonna get 3 goals out of this. No way. He's got to get a little creative, but 4-3-3, I think you got to go for the goals, like Mike and Hugh were saying. But it's got to be more creative. You got to figure some shit out. Why don't you put Pjanic in there at center mid? He's probably the least sexy player I've ever seen in my life, but at least he's facilitating and he's at least keeping possession for you, which wasn't happening last match. So something's got to change.
Yeah, I think it's done. It's cooked. I mean, it's cooked. I'm sorry. We might have said this last time, but that was a different Barcelona. This Barcelona, different coach, older players. PK was rushed back into this. There's no leadership on this team. I'm sorry, PK is not the leader of this team right now. There needs to be a new leader. Messi, in his mind, he's already left.
Yeah.
It's obvious. Yeah, he's already gone. He's checked out. He does not give a fuck anymore. Also, that PK that Barcelona got, really soft. This could have easily been a 4-0. I would have not called that PK had I been the ref of that game, because that was not a foul. 2 players' feet just happened to be clicked. They just clicked against each other, and De Jong fell over. It's like, that's not even a foul. It's just 2 players just bumped into each other. This game is cooked. Let's move on. We got plenty more to talk about. Also, on this Tuesday, Mardi Gras Day, we had Liverpool versus Rb Leipzig. I did not watch this, but I was totally wrong in my prediction that Julian Nagelsmann would win this. And Booty, I got to give you credit. Credit enough to buy a house. Shit, man.
Ferrari.
Klopp came back. The troops rallied around Klopp, and they put on a tactical masterclass against Julian Nagelsmann.
It's what they do, man. With Liverpool, you know, they're that team that on paper it's like, oh, okay, you're definitely the worst team here, but sometimes it doesn't matter for Liverpool. That's the magical, sexy thing about Liverpool is, hey, we can rally and we can win. You can play your game on paper and we're gonna play it on the field. So it's really sexy to see. That's one thing that I love about Liverpool. That it kind of they tug at my heart a little bit with that because if they need to figure something out, if there's a way that they have to win, they're gonna figure it out. And right now, the way they're looking in EPL, hey, you can put that behind you because you're not winning EPL. Okay, so everything can go in this Champions League basket now. Klopp, with everything going on with him, personally, obviously, I think this is what can bring him back to the Klopp that we know. Because right now, you can totally tell he's out of his shell with the emotions and the complaints, and there's always an excuse lately. We can see past that as long as you just keep winning these Champions League games. So keep it up. I love that man too, man. He's one of my favorites. Just to watch the passion in him. I always say he's the German Conti for me. He's just,
I like that.
just always just it's
I like
there.
that.
The problem is though the minute that you don't have the guys behind you, that's when Liverpool fails. So it's all about keeping them behind you and keeping them doing this. Got to give credit. We mentioned this beforehand our last episode. We were talking about how the whole point of this game, the sexiest thing about this game, the two German coaches going at it, the two guys who know each other, the two tactical geniuses. The system that Nagelsmann's running is something that Klopp's done for years, and we saw that. And me personally,
Right.
one thing that I took away from this game, and to pass it back off to you guys, Upamecano, our boy, probably had the worst game of his life. But I was talking about this with you yesterday. It might actually you got to focus away from that because it might actually be the reason he might have actually had the worst game of his life is because of what Klopp did to make him come out of his position, to make him make those mistakes. So I think that's a genius move, and I think that a genius move, Klopp. Period.
Yeah. Twali, Gunnar, Mike, did you guys happen to watch this game? Have any thoughts to share?
Just to piggyback off what Booty said, they needed Upamecano to have a really good game in this game, playing the back three, especially in the middle of the back three, and he did not have. He had a blunder, mistakes that led directly to goals. So yeah, it's what can you do? What can you do? They weren't prepared to play. It seemed like honestly. So, and I think Klopp's mom died recently, and so on and so forth. So, the team's playing for him, and they came through for him in the biggest competition. So, they move.
Yeah, and Twali, did you want to add something to this? I got a little talking point I want to add.
Yeah, I think Liverpool just has the individuals that could like pull something like this off. When you have Mo Salah, you have Mane, you have those playmakers. Even if your league form isn't that great, a Champions League night is still a big one. And like you compare those two teams, and someone like Nkuku or like Danny Olmo, they're not that used to like the big stage of scoring, being clutch when you're not So I think overall, we always expected Liverpool to pull it through with this team, and I feel like they'll probably have an easy time in the second leg too, irregardless of their league form.
I would agree. That's a really good point. We can't forget that Liverpool recently won a Champions League and then was even runner-up in a Champions League. They went to the Champions League final back-to-back years, and pending the Salah injury, could have been a back-to-back Champions League. We never know what the result of that game would have been had Salah remained in the game. One thing I really need to point out is that Julian Nagelsmann came out with a 3-1-4-2, a very ambitious formation, and it seemed like his attempt was to pin Alexander-Arnold and Robertson from being able to attack. However, Klopp immediately picked up on that, and if we look at when the goals were scored, Liverpool's goals were scored in the 53rd and 58th minute. That is 8 minutes past kickoff and 13 minutes past kickoff. So within the first 15 minutes, Klopp was able to adapt his team to put themselves in a position to score 2 goals and then run away with this game. When I looked at the tactical review of this game, what really worked for them was having Wijnaldum drop between the center backs, having the 2 center backs get out wide and almost act like wing backs in their position, and then allowing Trent Arnold-Alexander to fly up and also Andy Robertson to fly up. And you now create an overload in the midfield, which then makes it a 3v3 with Salah, Firmino, Mane against Klosterman, Upamecano, and Mukiele. And if I'm going to bet on a 3v3, I'm going to bet on Salah, Firmino, and Mane. And sure enough, those 3 came out on top with 2 goals. Credit to Klopp. I said on the last podcast, this is going to be the game where we learn if Klopp has the mental strength to get over this hump. He's been dealing with injuries. He's been dealing with his mom. Jordan Henderson just got injured playing as a center back. So, we'll see what happens in the second leg. But I got to give credit to Liverpool and Klopp. They were able to pull it out despite having all the odds against them. It was a great result here. That being said, let's move on over to Wednesday's games. The first game being Borussia Dortmund versus Sevilla. Borussia Dortmund defeated Sevilla 3-2. Really, the best way to put this is just Erling Haaland. I'm going to pass this over to... Who wants this?
I'll take that heat.
Oh, Booty's taking the heat.
Right.
Go ahead, Booty.
I'll take it, man. I'll tell you what. Erling Haaland, man, and shout out. We got to give mad credit enough to buy a Ferrari at this point to the Footy Fetish show, because we found this man. We found this man back when he was with was it Leipzig?
Also.
Yep. 2 years ago, or actually, no, wait.
September of 19.
Yeah,
September of 19. Bro.
2 years ago. Man, it doesn't feel like 2 years ago, though, just because of what he's been doing. But, man, it's very impressive. The only thing that scares me right now is the injuries with Dortmund. 3-2 win to come out. They're in bad form right now. Well, they were leading up to this game in their domestic leagues. I believe they're in 4th or 5th at this point. So it's good to see them again. Almost, I feel like it's mirroring Liverpool. You already know that your league is probably out of reach, your domestic league. So, hey, let's go all out, Champions League. And what better guy to do it than the youngster, Haaland, which they didn't beat some, scrub team either. This is Sevilla, who's been hot for the last year, I'd say. Always showing up. But with Dortmund, the only thing that scares me is everything is Haaland right now. So I think they're gonna run into this problem. Ocho and I were talking about it the other day. I mean, the way that you beat this team is, you shut down anything going to Haaland, and then they're gonna be a little suspect. A lot of the things that are issues with Dortmund is injuries, and unfortunately, that's something that you can't help. Right now, they're trying to figure out the midfield, and to me, it some days it works and some days it doesn't. If you go even and look at some of their Bundesliga games, yesterday they looked great. Again, they played Schalke, who's hurting, but yeah, exactly. 4-0 win, but I'm pretty sure we could have threw out any midfield against Schalke. Honestly, they're really trying to figure it out right now, because the key for me in their midfield is Axel Witsel. Torn ACL, he's done for the year. So at this point, it's like a musical chairs going on here with the midfield. If I am playing against Dortmund, if I'm the coach, I'm going to go ahead and pick the weakest midfielder, and I'm going to force everything to his side and force him to get it to Haaland. And if we can shut that down, they're in trouble. I need to see more from Sancho in these big games. That's it. I'm not saying that he hasn't, but this is the time right now where you step up and maybe you carry the team with Haaland. Figure a way to get Haaland the ball, and then hey, you can command whatever price you want in this transfer window. and United's going to pay it.
Yeah, I'm inclined to agree with you with that main point you're saying, that everything about Dortmund is Haaland. And if you can shut down Haaland, or at least shut down the service to Haaland, you basically eliminate Dortmund. And again, that second point you made, Sancho's got to step up. Royce has got to step up. We're finally seeing a season where Royce is healthy and can actually contribute. I will say, though, they must have heard you and I talking on the last episode, because Emre Can is smack dab in the middle playing CDM right where he should be, and not playing right back where he was the game right before. Looking to the game they just played over the weekend, Emre Can is now playing center back next to Hummels. I'm very confused. This coach went from playing a 4-3-2-1 against Sevilla to playing a 4-2-3-1 against Schalke. This always scares me as a viewer, because it shows me that it's either one of two things. One, you have the players to be able to move and make different formations, or two, you haven't found your identity as a team and you're experimenting and you're trying to figure out what works best. If it's the former, then great. Good for you. You have the players to be able to change formations each week, game in, game out, and it's not an issue. But everybody knows now, just prevent Haaland from getting service, and I think you've got a shot at beating this team. Twally, what you got?
I was gonna say on that formation change, I'm wondering if because they knew they were playing Schalke, they could afford to take out one of those midfielders, because against Sevilla, it looks like they lost, they won 3-2, but they were probably worried about like Sevilla's offense too and being a little cautious and protective. So I feel like that's why they added that extra midfielder, and maybe Xhaka was switching it out. But yeah, if Haaland goes down, you don't have really like a backup point now that to hope that. But like those other two guys that you're talking about need to really step up. Royce, we've always seen him being a leader of that team. He needs to kind of like carry that weight. And I think the defense needs to put a little more stop in. Like you can't be letting in 2 goals when your like offense is playing that hard.
Twally, I got to say you are spot on. If we look at the possession differences in the Borussia Dortmund Sevilla versus Borussia Dortmund Schalke, Sevilla had 66 possession and Dortmund had 34. But when we go over to the Dortmund versus Schalke game, Dortmund had 62 and Schalke had 38. So it was a complete flip in the play style. It seems as if, and I didn't watch this game, I wish I had. It seems like Dortmund were content parking the bus and countering with Haaland, rightfully so. You've got Royce and Sancho right behind him. Within the other game, it's Schalke, it's a weaker team, so we can maintain possession and practice building out of the back and attacking in the attacking third. This is an interesting. I'm curious to see what happens. This is a new coach with Dortmund, Edin Terzic, who was just appointed in the middle of this season. So we're just kind of seeing this coach find his feet. This game, this tie, this is not over. This is a 1-goal differential. This game it looks like it was at Dortmund. Ramon Sanchez, no, that's a definitely Hispanic name. It was at Sevilla. Yeah. So
it might be over.
Dortmund were able to get 3 away goals, but only it's a 1-goal differential. So it's going to be interesting. Go ahead, Mike. Mike Daddy.
Yeah, I was just going to throw out there too, man. Something to pay attention to on this, and a positive note with Haaland. If you haven't seen, I believe it's the second goal he had. It's a give and go at the top of the 18. Is beautiful. It's beautiful, and it's something that we weren't seeing when he first got to this team. When he first got to this team, he was trying to do way too much. And we had mentioned on a couple of earlier episodes, if he can develop that passing game, then he's going to be unstoppable. And we're starting to see it. We're starting to see him. I don't want to say selfish because he's not. You can tell he's not a selfish player, but that was something that was lacking of his game. We saw it against PSG when they played PSG, where he was the odd man out. He was trying to do so much, and it just wasn't working. but we're starting to really see him come to his own with all assets of his game. That's scary. That's scary. And I have to say, I look at my crystal ball, and he's not going to be here for very much longer if he keeps doing things like that. Because somebody is going to drop some serious money, and it's going to get to the point where Dortmund can't turn it down. Somebody like Real Madrid, somebody like that, where they have the money to spend and they need that striker. But other than that, it's really fun to watch Dortmund do this. But at the same time, I'm really suspect on that midfield. I don't think it's going to last very long. But hey, if you play Juventus, you might have a chance. The way we looked the other day. So, but different story. We'll see.
Ooh, speaking of which, that's a great segue, Booty. Who else played on Wednesday?
It is. There was this team. I've heard of them before. Twally has too. I wouldn't say they played. They got on a flight and they showed up, and they kind of just messed around and kicked the ball around a little bit. Can't say they played anything though, unfortunately. But man, 2-1 victory to Porto, and I got to give Porto credit, man. They when you say play whistle to whistle, if you go look, they literally played whistle to whistle. A first-minute goal and a 45th minute goal. So I got to give Porto credit for that. But man, we didn't see that coming with Juve. That's pretty rough. And I got to say, a couple things that you want to look at when it comes to this game. Man, it breaks my heart that I got to do this, but here we go. When we looked at this game,
what's the score? What happened?
A little 2-1 to Porto. It's a shame too, because it seems like every time this year with Juve, where I'm like, man, Pirlo's got it. Pirlo's got it figured out. There'll be this big game, and then you start to question what he's doing. But I still got faith in Pirlo. He came out with the 4-4-2, and Juve held possession 65%. But man, again, I got to give Porto the credit, because the whistle to whistle, they played the total 90. That's what I like to always say. To me, they grabbed that first-minute goal, which is a boneheaded mistake by Bentancur, just playing around with it in his own box with a man on his back. It can never, ever, and this is going, Coach Ocho, you already know when you're teaching the kids, that's something you should never be passing back to the middle of the field when you have a man on your back, ever. I don't care what the situation is.
Yeah.
And then, he passes it back, and there's already a man on Szczesny, because they immediately just came out and they just pressed him heavy, and I don't think Juve was expecting that at all. And Pirlo even said, this is a little direct Pirlo quote, we knew that they play well and they close up spaces really well, and it was the match they wanted, and we handed it to them on a silver platter. And that's the best way you can describe it. They literally gave them what they wanted, and they did what they wanted. First half, man, Juve had no shots on goal because Porto did such a great job of holding that line. They grabbed that first goal, and they held that line on defense, and they just shut down any opportunities that Juve wanted. It almost looked like sorry ball. I had like PTSD flashbacks to where Juve's just passing around the ball and just doesn't know where to go with it. There's nothing. There was no creativity. It's pretty sad. This is the worst game I've seen Juve play all year. I was thinking about going into the archives of our old episodes and grabbing the footage from the Lyon game last year, because it looked like the same damn thing where they forgot to come show up to the game. There's just no options. Doesn't do shit if you possess it and nothing happens. It literally looked like the Napoli game right before this that they played domestically, where Napoli grabs the goal and then they just absorb the attack, and Juve just had nothing, nowhere to go. A couple other things I'm going to point out really quick and pass it to you guys, but Chiellini, man, it's time to just give it up. Another calf injury in the 35th minute. Reoccurring theme. I want to say this is the second or third time this year that he hasn't even made it to halftime. Szczesny, man, the head wasn't in the game from the get-go. A lot of back and forth between him and De Ligt, between him and Bentancur, between him and the whole back line, really, where you could tell they're just asking him, what the fuck is going on with you, man? A lot of balls that were straight in his hands that he's dropping. Just you could tell the confidence wasn't there at all. It was terrible. Murata didn't start, which was weird to me because I think he needs to be in this. Again, also, Pirlo said he wasn't feeling well this game. I don't care. Put him out there and then sub him off. Because this whole thing started with Ronaldo. There's a 4-4-2 with Ronaldo and Kulusevski up top. I love Kulusevski, but I'd rather him more on a wing. He's done better that way. Dybala wasn't featured at all. Didn't even come off the bench. Bonucci, I don't know what was going on with him, but he didn't even come on. Final whistle. There was a little controversial possible PK that wasn't given to Ronaldo. And I got to give credit. The only person to me that showed up this game was Chiesa. And Chiesa ends up getting the goal that I think is going to carry Juve to the next round. If it wasn't for that away goal with Chiesa, man, they'd be in some serious trouble. But the scary thing is, I'll give you a little fun fact before I pass it off to you guys. Number one, the entire back line is on yellow cards now. So that's scary. Number two, the goal that Chiesa actually made, the first Juventus player other than Ronaldo to score a knockout stage goal in Champions League since Blaise Matuidi in 2018. That's not a good sign either. So,
all right, Mike, take a breath real quick. Get your heart rate down. I know you're passionate. This man is on a tear. This man is on a tear. Pirlo, if you're listening, I apologize. It doesn't mean all of that. It's not personal. But hey, might want to take some of it to heart. Bring it back to the camp.
That's right.
Reevaluate.
Fino alla fine. It's not over till it's over. So
I'll tell you what, you're spot on here. Right when you and I both thought this game was easily in hand. You had predicted a 2-0. I had predicted a 4-0. And two bonehead mistakes. Both goals for Porto were scored within less than 2 minutes of the kickoff whistle. The first goal for Porto was scored in the second minute, and the second goal for Porto was scored in the 46th minute. So both goals happened right after each half of kickoff. And for me, I look at that and I immediately blame the coach, because that tells me your coach didn't implant inside you that you have to start the game hot. You have to start the game hot, fast, and aggressive. And that first goal was very lackluster. The second goal was just, I got to give credit to Porto. They just dissected the defense for Juve very well. And I thought Szczesny should have done a little bit better job as a goalkeeper. But one last thing I'm going to say, and I'll pass it to the other Juve fan, is Kulusevski should never be playing up there with Ronaldo. That should have 100% been Morata and Juve. That has proven to work. Morata is an incredible partner with Ronaldo. He can be the player to hold it up and allow Ronaldo to roll off of him. Kulusevski is not that player. I thought McKennie on the wing was also a bad play. It should have been Chiesa, Kulusevski, and McKennie should have been in for either Bentancur or Rabiot. But I did not like what Pirlo did here. I'm putting the blame on the coach, and I'll pass it off to Twali. Twali, what are your thoughts here?
Wow, yeah, the last probably like minute or so of what you were saying is everything I was probably thinking in terms of this team. The two midfielders, I'll start there because I think that's like where it would have trickled down to. Those two have a pretty similar style. They're like that slow style, vision passing. You need the fighting player that McKennie is. Like, you need the counterpart to it. You need the bulldog to like the playmaker in there. Kulusevski is a winger. You should have put him there, and you definitely should have had a different solution for like a second striker if Morata couldn't start. He tried to do it, fix it in the second half. Both goals were just sloppy from lack of attention, or just I don't know what they were doing. They were sleepwalking. Chesney's had a few kind of like blunders lately. But Booty hit it on it. Chiesa's goal at least kind of rescues the hope of like a return leg win, and Juve could definitely correct this and fix their errors. Not sure what Pirlo was thinking, trying to play with that. We'll see what happens. Yeah, and Chiellini is the last thing I'll probably add. He seems like his fitness just isn't there. His age is finally catching up with the Iron Man. So it's sad to see, but we should probably see more of Demiral playing. We should definitely, as a team, study more options at center back than like relying on Chiellini and maybe like even Bonucci. As a Juve fan, it's sad to say that I don't really trust the guy, but he's suspect.
I agree. There's a lot of pieces that need to be bought or traded or transferred. Juve are very close to going through a rebuilding on that back line. Luckily, they do have Delict, so that's something they can build around. But Chiellini and Bonucci are definitely very close to being the end. Maybe Demiral can fill in the spot, and it can be Delict and Demiral. But it's a shaky future for Juve. Luckily, they were able to get a away goal. And Chiesa with a beautiful finish. You could tell when he scored that goal. You could see in his body language that he was confident in putting the team on his back. So that was a really good sign. And then I got to bring it back to Booty's point about that PK. I think this was a PK 100%. It was a damn shame they did not even VAR it. Booty and I were talking recently, and we both he doesn't think it was a PK. I think it was. We both agreed that they at least should have reviewed it with VAR. And the fact that they blew the whistle and ended the game, we both agreed was unfair. Because Booty and I don't know the technicalities when it comes to if a player is falling over and you make contact with him, is it still a foul? We don't know, but you should have at least reviewed it and put it up in the booth, especially with a goal that could potentially tie the game. Let's not get too far into it, but I think, Booty, would you agree that's where we both agree there? They should have at least reviewed it?
Yeah, and it goes beyond this game too. I don't understand why sometimes it's reviewed and sometimes it's not. And they claimed that they were looking at it. I'm doing quotes for our podcast listeners. Looking at it, but I don't. Why isn't the referee looking at it? Like why isn't he looking at it? So is he refereeing the game? Is somebody in Thailand that's looking at this? I don't understand. There needs to be some sort of rule where either we look at everything or we don't. I don't get it why sometimes and trust me, y'all already know so many EPL fans can agree with me on this. Why is it sometimes we look at it, sometimes we don't? I don't get it. Don't understand it. Maybe I won't. And yeah, Hugh and I might not agree on if it's a penalty or not, but at the end of the day, we do agree on this. Like I just don't get why we can't at least take a look at it. That's what it's there for. So I don't understand. It's brought up sometimes and sometimes not.
Agreed. Mike Malone, Gunner Mike, you've been awfully quiet. Did you happen to get a peek of this game?
I mean, I saw bits and pieces. The first goal was shocking.
Yeah.
To say the least, that's the most I could really say about that. The second goal obviously was led off a mistake as well. It's just unfortunate. But I do think that Chiesa goal was huge, and that they can obviously come back with the quality that's in the squad to make it happen. I think that's something that's attainable. Start Aaron Ramsey, man. Start Aaron Ramsey. What the hell's going on, man? I like Ramsey under Pirlo. Play the man.
What? Really? You must be an Arsenal fan or something.
Of course I am. Play Aaron Ramsey, man. Play Rambo, man. Play Rambo.
That's a cool nickname.
He's shined sometimes, man. He's had moments where he's shining. The way Benacore was looking, you might as well.
I think he brings something different in midfield. He's going to get into the box. He's going to make that last run into the box and try and score goals. He can provide goals from midfield. Might just be something that y'all need at the moment. I don't know. I don't watch a lot of Juve, to be honest with you. I watch a lot of the Milan teams. I watch both of those teams mostly, as far as just the Serie A. But I love Rambo, man. I know what he could bring to the table. Might help.
I got you. Yeah, it's going to be definitely a challenge for Pirlo going forward because what he did here did not work. I guarantee we are going to see a different starting 11 in that second leg. With that being said, did Ronaldo just set up a 2-0 win at Juve?
Yes.
I think we're going to see it.
He's pissed
Juve's
off.
gonna win. Juve's gonna advance.
Juve is going to advance.
Yeah, they're gonna pull it off.
They're going to pull it off. Twali, what's the name of the Juventus Stadium? Or Booty, what's the name of the stadium?
Allianz Arena?
Yeah. Allianz? It's Allianz.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, cool. All right. Yeah, we're going to see a 2-0 win at Allianz Stadium come March. Well, gentlemen, this is the end of Week 1, Round of 16, Leg 1. We have got some more fixtures on the way. We've got Lazio, Bayern, Atletico Madrid, Chelsea on Tuesday, February 23rd. And we've also got on Wednesday, February 24th, Atalanta, Real Madrid, Borussia Mönchengladbach versus Man City. Let's quickly go through, get some predictions on what everyone thinks. Let's start with Mike Daddy, a.k.a. Booty, Lazio, Bayern. This is pretty easy. What you got?
Bayern Munich and call the cops because this straight assault is coming because Bayern hasn't been looking good lately.
Yeah, they lost today.
And I say not looking good. It's definitely not looking good to what we're used to.
Right.
And Lazio, it's around that time where they just start to lay down. So it's what they do. They do it well. I know they're in fourth in the domestic league, and that same thing. It's about that time. About that time for Lazio.
Are you fucking shitting me?
They are.
Fourth?
They are.
They're fifth.
Fifth. Excuse me. Yeah, fifth.
Still, they're tied for fourth. I'll give you that. They're tied for fourth.
But it's about that time to lay down for Lazio and go to bed. We'll read them a bedtime. Bayern's going to read them a bedtime story, and we're going to have to call the cops because you're going to hear that domestic abuse like next door. It's be like, oh my god, what is that? So 4-0. 4-0.
Jeez, Gunner Mike, what you got? Bayern Munich, Lazio.
I definitely got Bayern win the match. Champions League winners trying to win their title. They're gonna do what they got to do to make this happen. But I'm not gonna sleep on Lazio's midfield. They got players, so who knows? But Bayern, man, what can we say?
Twali, what you got?
I'll also go with a Bayern win. I think you can't look past them as one of the favorites for the Champions League. So I'll give them a 3-1 win away at Lazio. I'd say Lazio gets 1 goal.
Fair enough. I am also going to go Bayern. I think Lazio do score one as well. Can't forget about Immobile. That dude is a machine. He will find a way to get at least a goal. Moving on to the other fixture on Tuesday, February 23rd, we've got Atletico Madrid versus Chelsea. This one's difficult for me, man, because right when you think Atletico Madrid are dominating La Liga, they go ahead and lose. And it's like, what? And then Chelsea just got a brand new coach in Thomas Tuchel, who Twali can tell us a lot about. I'm not sure who I want to pick. I think I'm going to go draw first match here. Twali, I'm going to pass to you. What are your thoughts here?
Yeah, I think Atletico is on a kind of downward slope right now. And Chelsea's definitely been improving in the league. They just tied the last game, but they've been on the winning streak. So I'll give them a 2-1 win. Away.
Nice. Like it. Mike Daddy, what you got?
I'm really liking this trend of teams who are doing terrible domestically and turning around in Champions League. So give me Atletico Madrid. Give me a goal from our boy Joao, because we haven't talked about him in a hot minute because Suarez has been stealing the show. So give me Atletico. Chelsea going Chelsea. Always.
Yeah, great. Mike Daddy. Gunner Mike, what you got?
I'm actually gonna take Chelsea in this match. They've been showing me some things as far as with Thomas Tuchel involved, being a manager, and they started well under him in the league. So I got them winning 2-1.
Nice. Okay. Fair enough. This is I like these results here. Let's move on over to Wednesday, February 24th. Atalanta, Real Madrid. Another one for me that this is not an obvious one. Atalanta are still very much in Serie A, 4th place right now. They are looking very strong. And Real Madrid as well are also looking very strong. I'm going to go with Atletico Madrid just purely because of Champions League legacy. Let me pass it off. Sorry. Booty, who you got?
You meant Real Madrid, right?
What did I say?
You said Atletico.
Jeez, that's Freud for sure. I guess I should have picked Atletico for the first one, but yeah, I'm going to go with Real Madrid.
You had that Madrid on your mind, baby. It's all right. Let me do. Man, the last time I picked Atlanta for something, they screwed me over and I owed money. All the way until that 90th minute. Oh man. To be honest, I haven't seen much of either of these teams lately, but Real Madrid's been hot lately. I'm gonna go Real Madrid, even though I hate Real Madrid. So we're gonna go. I'm gonna go both Madrids. Both Madrids. I think the stage is too big for Atalanta. And again, I really hope I'm wrong because I love Atalanta. I love everything they stand for. I love, as our boy Gunner Mike says here, throwing players with no regard forward. I love that. It's a straight up FIFA move. And I love watching it, especially when it works. And they're one team that it really does work for. But I got to go Real Madrid just because it's Real Madrid. That's it.
Fair. Twally. Actually, we'll go Gunner Mike. Gunner Mike, what you got, man? Atlanta, Real Madrid.
I'm gonna take Atlanta in this first leg. I got them going. I got them going 2-1 in here, maybe 2-0.
2-0. Okay.
Yeah,
Dang,
I'm definitely taking Atlanta in this game.
Atalanta 2-0. You don't think Benzema, any of the Brazilians, you don't think anybody's going to make a noise for Real Madrid?
I think it's just gonna be one of those nights, man.
Okay, fair enough. Twally, can you? What's your pick?
I got Madrid on a 2-1 win. I think they're shaky. I don't know if their record right now is in the league right now, but I think that they slightly edge this one. I could see Benzema, one of those leaders in the team, getting a 2-1 win there.
Let me ask you guys this, Gunner Mike. I know that you like the betting game. Is there an easy way that you can pull up right now what's favored, what's going on with these matches?
Let me see if they got that.
See if you can pull that up. Just because I know a lot of folks lately, they've been going crazy on the betting with this. Even I know a bunch of people who haven't even been following. They don't even know what a soccer ball looks like, but they've just been betting on this. And I fucking love it because it's just bringing everybody together. It's really teaching them how this works. It's fun. But that last match, I gotta ask you guys. This is one that I'm very torn on this one. Borussia Mönchengladbach against Manchester City. We're talking about two teams that can really run the show on goals. We might have 9 goals in this game. Twally, who you got on this one?
I think City. I think you're optimistic. I think City is gonna handle this one. It's gonna be a different league between those two because I was looking at them playing recently, and Gunnar Mike will probably back me up on this today. They have a deep bench. Like the options that they have with Kevin De Bruyne coming back, I see them putting 3 goals or at least a 3-goal lead in the game on this one.
And also, before I pass it to Gunnar Mike here, it's something we got to mention about Gladbach that we should have mentioned earlier when we were talking about Dortmund. Dortmund has agreed to sign Marco Rose from Gladbach. So he will start at the beginning of next year. So that's going to be really fun. Gunnar Mike, who you got on this one?
So hold up, man. I was looking at those odds that you had.
You found it? You found it?
I did. So they got Chelsea and Atletico is at an even. It's an even.
That's a draw, man. As far
wow. There you go, Ocho. You called that. Yeah.
The Bayern spread is closer than I thought. It's
2 goals.
It's half a goal. Half.
Really?
Half.
I'm fucking taking that, dude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. That's one that came in on early. Atalanta and Real Madrid is even right now.
Whew.
I mean, I can see that. It's that like I'm getting heartburn over that one.
And then the game that we were just on, Manchester City and Gladbach, they got City by a goal and a half. And just to continue off that, yeah, like Fabrice said, I mean, City, Bayern, PSG are like your three clubs right now as far as in Europe. Those are like your top three, and then everybody else is kind of getting in line to kind of be, you know,
Yeah.
in that class right now. And City at the moment, I mean, after today's win against my beloved club, that's I think 19 games in a row for them that they've won in all competitions. So I mean, really, I think they're the hottest team in Europe right now. Period. So yeah,
Certainly.
I expect them to roll. I expect them to roll in this game.
Ocho, who you picking?
Man City. This is obvious for me. As much as Borussia Mönchengladbach have been a total shock to all of us. I mean, making it this far to begin with in the group of death, right? Real Madrid, Inter, Shakhtar, Borussia Mönchengladbach. I would have never in a million years picked this team to make it here. As much as they have gotten here and surprised us, Man City are on form. As Gunner Mike told us before the episode, they just got De Bruyne back. So the fact that they've been able to achieve all of this without a De Bruyne, and now he's back, ooh, sorry. This is going to be an easy game for Pep, unless he pulls a Pep. He is very likely to do. If he does not overthink this game and just plays it like he has been, then I don't think this is a problem. But give me Man City.
Man, I gotta say, man, like you guys said, Man City. It's as much as I hate them, I just hate their existence. Hottest team in Europe right now, hands down. Like Gunnar Mike said, they're about to run away with that EPL. But I'm picking Mönchengladbach. Let's do it because let me tell you why. Because City, as well as we know them, their one problem is Champions League. And they're going to have problems with this team. It's going to be a back and forth, and I see somehow Gladbach pulling this out. Will they win both legs? That's tough. Let me see how this first leg goes. But I really think that they're going to pull out some goals here. And I've been picking them, and they've been nice to me since I've been picking them. So I got to stick with them now. Really fun to watch. They're really one of my favorite teams to watch lately, this whole Champions League. So I got to do it. We're talking about a team that beat Real Madrid, what, twice? Yeah. It's possible. They could do this. And nobody would be expecting it. So that's another thing that's scary to me. So I got to go with it.
That's fair. That's fair. I'll give you a little bit of respect there, but I mean,
yeah, it's tough. It's tough.
I'm
on an island right now by myself.
Yeah, you are on a fucking island.
I got a couple records to myself. I don't even know if I have any water. But we'll see.
Send help to Goody. Send help.
I'm gonna start eating coconuts and start. We're gonna have Wilson with me. We're gonna see. But hey, we can put Wilson in the goal. We're gonna score goals with Wilson. So it's happening.
Awesome. Oh man, this has been fun. This has been good. I needed this. I need to talk about Champions League. I need to get all this out, and not to mention we got 4 more games next week, Tuesday, Wednesday. Let's go, and then we can't forget about the Europa. Let's not get into that, Mike. I know you and I could talk about that all night, but ladies and gentlemen, we here, bro. I would love to see a Milan Arsenal final. I think that would be just great TV.
It would be good for the culture. It'd be good for the culture of the game. Two former powerhouses trying to get back to where they should be. So
we could do a Europa episode in between this Champions League. It's not out of the question.
Y'all let me know.
Yeah.
Oh fuck yeah! Hell yeah! We'll let you know, Mike. Don't worry, Gunner Mike. Always the first one that we think of when we talk about Arsenal. No doubt. Oh, man. Well, ladies and gentlemen, I'm going to pass it over to Booty to close us out here.
Oh, the gospel according to Footy Fetish. Please open your prayer books to page 69, where we will discuss everything that is footy fetish, where the fetish is real and the footy is soccer. It's about that time to close it out and spread the good word of the fetish. The feet, the balls, the nuts, all here right now. Everyone needs to give a shout out to someone that they love, or it could be somebody that you hate. It's up to you. Ooh, who's gonna be the first one? Twally, who's your shout out today?
Oh, I'll give my shout out to my good buddy Sean out of Lafayette. Good friend. Started playing soccer with him actually when we're 14 or something like that. And the homie is just getting the house together. He's building his first house. So shout out to my man. And yeah.
It's beautiful, beautiful. Shout out to Sean. Beautiful. Gunner Mike, who you got?
This whole podcast season has been positive. It's been great. You know what I mean? So I hate to be
Go
negative
negative?
in any kind of way. Yeah. But I want to give a shout out to one of my coworkers. One of my coworkers, Eugene Bachman. He passed away last Saturday.
Oh God.
February 13th. Yeah. It's been so this past week at work has been pretty difficult. Not gonna lie, I've been in my place of employment for the past 5 years. He's been there the whole step of the way. Definitely helped me a lot through, just learning my gig and learning everything I got to do. And he kind of died unexpectedly, so it's been real. So I just want to give a shout out to him for everything he's meant to me and his family that going through this tough time right now. So shout out to Gene.
Man, always love those kind of shout-outs. Rest in peace to Gene. He obviously made an impact, a good impact on your life. So, hopefully he's in a better place right now.
Yeah, no, for sure.
Certainly.
I'm going to also keep this kind of somber in that I'm going to shout out the Jesuit Blue Jay soccer team. They just lost their semifinal game yesterday, and I see nothing but upward trending progress for that program. Shout out to the Blue Jays. It was a tough loss. If any of the Blue Jays are listening this far into the podcast, keep your head up. Y'all were the better team. My man Gunner Mike throwing up the J, man. Appreciate you. Hey, Mike, by the way, this is the hand signal they throw up at the game. It's
That's
dope
what it
as
is?
fuck, man.
Okay.
It's dope.
Okay.
I see the student section throwing it up.
Yeah.
And I'm like, oh shit, it's a whole different culture out there now, man.
Nice, man. Nice. That's
Shout out
dope.
to the
That's
Jays.
dope. I like
Yeah,
it.
it's cool, man. The shout out to the Jays. I'm going to be trying to get myself more involved in that Jesuit program. I told a lot of people this, and I'm not afraid to say this on the mic right now. I felt like a muzzled dog on that sideline, man. Just wanted to help, man. I just wanted to get in there and help, and had to keep my mouth shut and just watch from the sideline. So I'm hoping next year I can get in, be involved, and help that program to success. So that's my shout out.
Yeah, it'd be fun to see you coach that team, man.
Hell yeah, man.
How about that?
Yeah, I would love to.
Would you?
How about that? That'd be awesome, dude. I'd be down to help any way I can.
Look at the jacket I'm wearing, man. I can't leave these boys. Can't leave these boys. Man, can't leave the CBS right now, dude. That's my program. That's my baby.
I mean, dude, Jesuit throwing up gang signs. I'm fucking down. Let's do it. Let's fucking do it, dude. Let's do it. Let's do it.
Shit. Throwing up the Jays, bro.
Shit, man. I think my shout out today, I think, is gonna be to Mountain Dew. Hell of a drink. If you don't do Code Red, then you ain't doing it right.
What?
If you don't do if you go to Taco Bell, you don't get the Baja Blast, and you're an asshole. So
You're doing it wrong.
exactly.
I agree.
If you don't get first of all, when the Mexican pizza was there, if you get the Mexican pizza, I believe it's like number 7 or number 6. You get the Mexican pizza with the 2 tacos with a Baja Blast, and you're a fucking asshole. Straight up. So that's all I got.
Shout out to Mountain Dew, man.
Shout out! It's my fucking crack. It makes me feel like a fucking redneck, but I can't stop drinking it. It's fantastic. I fucking love it. So I'm gonna die because of cancer because of fucking Mountain Dew. This is too much Mountain Dew, and I gave up a couple things. Wink, wink. For Lent. So it's like my crutch right now is Mountain Dew. I need the sugar. Life. I need the sugar. Life. Yes, I need it. So, and Code Red got like discontinued during the holidays. They tried to do some like watermelon shit. Get the fuck out of here with that. Take it and put up your butt. It's unbelievable. So I'm very hurt by that. You got to have some red. What is it? Yellow 40 and red 5. I mean, if you don't have those two things in your system, you don't have cancer. Like, come on, guys. Hello.
Maybe that's something we don't want, but hey, it tastes good.
Exactly. I can't
It's
stop.
worth it.
I can't
Give it to
stop.
me.
I can't stop. Pirlo needs to drink some fucking Code Red. Get on this shit, man. Oh shit! All right, I'll see. I'll stop ranting about cancer drinks. It's come that time, guys. We very much appreciate you as always. It's always fun with you guys. First of all, Twally, whenever PSG does well, soft spot in my heart. First guy I think of, and also my wife is like super into anything France. She went to Paris once, and of course, like it's the greatest place ever. So anytime I think of anyone who can speak any kind of French, you're the first person that comes to mind. And I need you to come over here and like serenade my wife maybe one day, but not all the way. But I'll tell you what, whenever PSG is doing well, you're the first person that comes to Ocho and I's mind, of course. And then Gunnar Mike, I know times have been tough with you with Arsenal, but you know they're gonna throw a parade for Arteta for finishing 10th. I feel it. It's gonna happen, and we're gonna move on from there. We'll drop more money.
The best thing Arsenal can do at this point is just hold on to Arteta. Just don't let him leave.
Yeah, I think he should say.
What happens? Just hold on to Arteta, man.
I'll let y'all in on something that obviously it'll come to fruition when it's time. But he already signed a contract extension. They're just trying to wait till announce it when it's time. Obviously, when you're playing bad. And you got so many people who are like, oh, Arteta.
Yeah. Sack him, get him out of here.
It's not the right time to announce. But yeah, he's already signed the extension.
Good.
Taking on even more responsibility. He's the man. Like he's it. It's not him. Like that's just it's not Arteta, man. Like he needs more
all of the Man City success that we're seeing right now, you can look to Arteta as a person that is responsible for that. He has been with Man City from the start, since they took off, he's been there. If you don't think he is responsible for any of that, you're fucking crazy. You are lucky to have Arteta as a coach at Arsenal. And unfortunately, I don't think he has the players he wants, but I agree with you, Mike, man. That's a great move to re-sign him for the future.
Yeah.
Great fucking move, man.
Yeah, he'll be locked up. And I think I told y'all this a long time ago, and I'm going to say it again. Like, Arteta is from Catalonia, like he's Barcelona DNA. I'm telling you, future Barcelona manager, Mikel Arteta. I'm telling you, when it's time, they're gonna come calling, and he's gonna be there. I just hope that he does a lot with us before that time comes. But that's what's gonna happen. I'm telling you.
That's well said, dude. I didn't even know that, and I could see it though. It's weird without you even saying that. I could definitely see it, just his style and his demeanor, just the way he is, definitely. And Pep disciple as well. Hello.
Expect to see Arteta at Barcelona. You heard it here first on the Footy Fetish Show, y'all.
That's right. Well, let's wrap things up, guys. If you aren't following us, Footy Soldiers, you should. I don't know why you're not. But we're at Footy Fetish Show. We're on Insta. We're on Twitter for the Twatters. We're on Facebook. We're on all the things that you want us to be on. We can even be on you if you want. You just let us know. But in the meantime, this has been the Footy Fetish Show, where the fetish is real and the footy is soccer. Peace out to my Boy Scouts.